In this video, we're going to be taking a look at color grading, my process. We're going to take a look at 60p footage. This was shot at 1080p at 60 frames per second. This is the fairly low bitrate codec on the G85. It's at 28 megabits per second. So really when we start messing with this, it's not going to give us as nice results as the 4K 24p, but we can still shift some things around to make it look halfway decent. We're essentially going to be doing the same exact thing as my talking head portion, just a little less extreme. So we're still going to make sure our white balance is correct, and then we're going to go into curves, RGB. We're going to do the same thing. Move up the black point, move down the white point, put the highlights here back to where they were. And we're not going to be as extreme with our mid-tone contrast here. Next thing we're going to do is the same thing that we did before. We're adding a little bit of blue into the shadows and a little bit of orange into the midtones. Now again, we could drop the midtones, but because this image has a pretty decent amount of contrast in it, we're not going to mess with this midtone. Let's go back into curves. We're going to go to Hue Saturation Curves. Now this is when you can mess around with your greens. We can select this wide area of the color curves, and then we can select the middle of that and drop it down. Now if we do all the way, we can see that we made those gray, and then if you export this or if you try to play it at full quality, it's just blotchy, terrible artifacts for days. So we're gonna be pretty subtle about that. So we're just gonna drop that saturation down a little bit. You can see a slight change, makes it a little grayer. And then we're gonna go hue versus hue, kind of same color range. We're gonna go down with it and make it a little more green. So if you wanna make it look deader, you can move it up to yellow, or orange even. We're gonna make it slightly more green, ever so slightly. Again, can't go crazy with this. And then lastly, we're gonna go Hue versus Luma. Now this is when artifacts really start showing up. Look at that. Look at that piece of garbage. Up there, pretty much the entire image looks like crap. So again, we have got to be super, super subtle about this. So we can drop this down. Let's go back to Hue versus Saturation. We'll just drop that down to give us that nice color. Hue versus hue, let's see where we want it. Right around there. So this is pretty much playing with it until you can get it where you want it to. So this gives us that nice kind of subtle, slightly desaturated green look. So you can see the difference. A little contrast, a little color changing, darkening up those greens. Really makes the image look nice. Now, if you want to get these specific presets for each of these clips for the G85, you absolutely can do that in the description. I'm selling those because, you know, I have to sell out to all the corporate greed. But if you just wanted something quick and easy that you can slap a LUT on the footage, go ahead and download those. And they're specific to the Panasonic G85. So if you have a G85 or a G7, something that has the same codecs and same picture profiles, these could be pretty valuable to you. So I'll link those in the description, and we will see you all next week.